Hello, you beautiful dears. Hallo, ihr wunderschönen Schätze. So, I haven't been here online or live or in a story for quite a while. So, I haven't been really, sharing a lot, talking a lot. And I think it's time to kind of come back here again and just share a little bit of my past weeks and months and perhaps even years. So there was this moment in August when we've been with the dolphins in Egypt with children, and there was this moment where we got into the waters in the evening, or in the late evening, almost night, with this beautiful manta. And we've been there as a whole group, and almost everybody was in the water having really an amazing time with him or with her. I don't know, I didn't check it. Being with this beautiful being for, I don't know, 1.5 hours or even 2. And in the end, there was only me left with 2 children in the water. And then I just got down, I just dived deep, and I just dived into the blackness, away from the lights of the boat. So kind of, like a absolutely safe frame in a beautiful reef with a beautiful crew, with a beautiful boat. I could still see, obviously, but diving deep down on the ground into the dark. And my body was just so extremely relaxed because there was just no daylight, and already this kind of night melatonin, silence and stillness, relaxedness mode in my brain, which I just love deeply. I love when night is coming and when the whole frequency gets more laid back, more relaxed, more into that state of, being kind of in between, seeing and not seeing, being just open and receptive. And so I was down there, and my body was just so calm and silent in the water. Like in the water, you always have this, also during the day, you always have that frequency of being more with yourself, being more with your own voice, with your inner voice, because you just have a different, your eyes are just hearing differently than over the surface. And I guess that was kind of the moment where something new started, like my next cycle kind of started. And I will tell you a little bit about it. So that was the moment where something clicked, and where, kind of a story of the 34 years or 34 and a half years before was over and done. I was just there in the middle of the ocean, in a frequency I just so love. And Wanja just had moved down to the south 1.5 weeks before, or 2 weeks before. And we actually knew almost 100%, I mean deep down we knew it, that we had found our home together. And I knew over really months, I knew that it would just happen when he comes, when he moves down, that we will then find it, because it's just so much more in the divine order. At some point, it doesn't mean that this is the right or the wrong, the truth. It just it was for me absolutely perfectly in order that I do not move somewhere and he moves in, but that, the king comes and takes the queen to the home, to the palace. And this was just right how it was. So he moved down, and 1 week later we visited that beautiful, perfect home, which is, for rent, which is amazing for us because, we right now we deeply appreciate that sense of freedom we have with it, and has just enough space for all of us with our children, and even for more, more is about to come. So, and it's so close from where my children live and where they go to school, so it's just perfect. And our, famita, like the one we rent the home from, he's just so aligned and just perfectly our frequencies match. So from that kind of, new circumstances, we went to Egypt then. And um, it is the completion of everything we manifested over 34 and 35 years ahead, before that now. So it is really, being together for us is paradise on earth. It's like it is just a perfect match, and in the sense of perfect, it is absolutely harmony and absolute synergy and absolute everything you could ever, read about living a twin flame relationship. And it's not a twin flame relationship. We are just one together. And what we manifested in all of these years ahead was basically that we are just accepting that level of ease, that level of perfection. You've just seen the light right there. It's like that huge, immense level of it is just perfect, and it's just, it is effortless, and it is effortless, really, like 101%. 101%. There's no work, there's no dissonance at all. And when we met, I was 17, he was 18. We were already there. This is what we had asked for. Yeah, what I had in my life so far before was, I was so deeply one inside. I so deeply merged into the moment, so deeply surrendered to the one, to everything that is, to the consciousness, whatever name you name it. I mean, you could, some name it God, some name it intelligence, some name it universe, some name it just love. I was just one with that. And this is what attracted him into my life, and what it attracted me into his life. It was, we were one, and so deeply surrendered to that state of oneness. And what followed then in the years, in the 17 years till now, was believing in the oneness, believing in the ease, believing in the simplicity, and also something very fundamental. What followed was the manifestation of, we're one with ourselves and we're one together. So we keep our sense of integrity, our sense of, I'm a full Sophie, he's a full Wanja, and we are one together. Because when we met, it was just so deeply absorbing, that level of unity. And at the point, looking back, we were not grown up enough, mature enough to really just be so relaxed and still just Sophie and just Wanja in, oh my God, we're just one. So it will be a very long story because I have a lot to say, and So next video, because then I really have a real a real chance to load it up. So, and then, you know, July 2024, 6 months before I would really enter into a new 7-year cycle. And I will also talk about the 7-year cycle I was in till now. That realization really was there of we're one, and we're one in ourselves, and we're one together. And we step into the realization of we're one with our beautiful children in one home. Also having mastered, this is a huge topic too, having mastered separation, having mastered duality, having mastered the good and the bad, having mastered that, and stepping into our Eden. And I also want to say something very important here. So if you want, you can listen to that story again and again and again, because it is really a gift. It is a teaching in terms of a gift of my heart. So when you see Eden, when you see my choice, when you see these pictures, when you see that possibility, when you perhaps also see, you know, the beautiful woman at the beach and the amazing man and that ease and these beautiful children and these beautiful clients and this beautiful business and kind of our choice of the best, our Eden, when you read these posts, you know, like what we achieved in our lives so easily, you know, like Vanya's latest post, you know, it is always just a mirror for the invitation, inviting you, aligning to your best, aligning to your Eden, aligning to your paradise. You know, it is not showing you our perfect life in terms of this is what shall be your perfect life, but it may be. I mean, we're kind of, when you really look at us, when even I look at us, we're kind of a vision of what is possible. We're a template of what is possible because, you know, so many people also being very young looked at us like just the fact of being beautiful in terms of the visible and inside and out, and being kind and being polite and being so smart has always, for many people on that planet, that aspect of it's just too perfect, that cannot be. Because, you know, everybody who really meets us and gets in touch with it, I mean, here, you know, seeing us on Facebook or Instagram, seeing pictures, you kind of always can have your vision, you know, your idea, your projection. And when you meet us, you will probably see that we're very humble people. We're very polite. We're very friendly. We're very acknowledging. So we're always, everybody probably when we come into a room sees that us, but we're very restrained somehow, taken back, you know. So just friendly and really aware, loving and aware. So that basically is that picture of, you know, I mean, how can you be like so beautiful, so smart, so intelligent, so gifted with talents, and also, you know, gifted with children, gifted with fertility, gifted with abundance. And, you know, it is, we're here to show so deeply that this is possible, and this is possible for you, and that it is from the depth of your heart, that it comes from love, that it comes from unity, that it comes from being one, that it does not come from I want to be that, I want to achieve that, I want to show to the world how amazing I am. I compete and I try to make it work, or I work harder. It comes from I relax more, I surrender more, I just go deeper in being open, being pure, being here. And to be honest, and you know that every human being that is open, that is here, that is in that grace of just being kind and friendly, emanates such a higher level of beauty. And all of these people here, all of you, all of us, we're so intelligent because we're all so sensitive. We all see so much. And for example, like all of that, what I achieved, for example, in knowledge or in school, it's just because I'm just so open to it. I'm just so willing to be connected to it, to be one. It was always coming out of oneness. Every single success came from oneness, just from oneness. So it is really not about giving you any sense of this is how the perfect life looks like. It is sharing with you in a very bold move what it can look like. And for us, it was really the path of owning our dreams, trusting our dreams, believing in our dreams. When we were 17 and 18, we still thought really deeply that we were not good enough, that it was just not allowed to receive that. Because, I mean, receiving each other is receiving it, receiving the absolute super jackpot of the universe. And surrendering into relaxation, into just relaxing. Like we love each other like eternally and unconditionally, like forever. Like we can relax so deeply into one another's presence. And that was the possibility was there before. It was the dream inside of us. We dream paradise. I dream paradise ever since I was a child, as a child, and in the womb even of my mother, I was dreaming paradise. I was dreaming that world where most of the people being alive on planet Earth right now would say, you know, it just does not exist. It's too perfect. And when I was young, and also in, you know, being a teenager and in my young adolescence, I felt so much shame, and I never wanted that someone ever believed or would say about me, you know, she's too perfect. I was just terrified of jealousy and competition and concurrence, and I had that a lot in my life, you know, like especially with women. They were, you know, always so fast moving to that frequency of not seeing me in purity, but seeing a woman who's very beautiful and who's just very good in many things. And I never wanted to be seen as that, but actually I am here and we're here offering that, you know, actually what might seem to you as it's too perfect, it's too good to be true, is true. Because I mean, we're living that so fundamentally. I mean, I don't know many people who have a mate that is just the mate for them, and who live that, and who have many children, like all of the children they would want to ever have, and then have a business and have the money and have the time and have that level of relaxation. You know, it seems to be too perfect, too good to be true. But it is true. It is here. And it is basically here because we went on that path, that it is allowed, that we will relax into that we will transform shame, because shame probably is the biggest topic in terms of shadows in our life. It is feeling ashamed of wanting so much, of being so much, uh, of of being actually so deeply aligned, because I was just always so incredibly fiercely aligned with God, with paradise, with union, with I am you, you're me, we're all in that together. And so this is the core of abundance. The core of success and abundance is we're one. I'm one with you, you're one with me. This is basically it. I felt so incredibly ashamed of being me, of being beautiful, of being also so sensitive, of being so open, of loving to surrender so much, loving making love. And I make love with everything on that planet. I mean, it's not just the act of making love, of making the love in terms of creating, making the love with knowledge, making the love with a field, making the love with children, like in sense of, you know, making the love really in sense of letting the love be here, letting the frequency of surrender be here, making the love with the money, letting the money be here. Oh, it's so deep, that mirror of money. We will dive deeper into that in the coming months and probably years. They like the first kind of step into it will be a masterclass I give. I will let you know. It will be on the 22nd of November. Money and the love of humanity. So for now, I will perhaps later talk about it more, but only talking about me, only talking about my own experience. You know, leaving you the full space for your experience. So basically, it was the whole path, believing in the oneness, believing in the paradise inside, and also stepping up in a very bold and fierce way for it. Because when we met each other, we were so scared. And just a picture from meeting the perfection, not only in the mate, meeting the perfection in your clients, meeting the perfection in your surrounding, meeting the perfection in your family, meeting the perfection in whatever, in the ease, in the joy, in the now. So we were so fucking scared about being rejected from the other that we didn't stand up absolutely fiercely for it at the time. Because, you know, when universe gives you everything, commitment comes right away. So when universe gives you everything, by your commitment, you receive it and you step into it. So actually, when we met so many years ago, it would have been really appropriate to, after a few weeks marrying, and probably after several months, you know, getting pregnant, having children, because this was just it. There was this template, there was that frequency of Eden, and Eden is creation, Eden is fertility, Eden is mating, Eden is really stepping into the fertile creation. And for us, it's also marrying, and it's also children, and it's business, and it's all of it, all of any possible creations. We are meant to create it together. I mean, you know, it's like so insanely perfect, even in human design. Like all the channels we got together, they even have the same lines. Like it's, you know, it could not be more aligned than that. And everything is perfectly aligned. But, you know, it is really mirroring full perfection. And so at the time we didn't speak up for that because we were so scared that we really were not aware that, you know, mirroring means that in the way I want you, you want me. In the way I love you, you love me. And we were so scared about being rejected that we didn't go for it, that we didn't tell the other one. And actually, we always made the exact same experience at the exact same time. Like, it's really twin flame means full mirror, like 101%. And we felt ashamed of wanting each other so intensely, so hard, of wanting so hard, because, you know, when the universe gives you the mirror of your innermost dreams, of the dreams of your heart, of your inner sanctuary, when it gives you the, in bold letters, the fulfillment, like the Eden, like really the heaven on earth, not an idea, a possibility of heaven on earth, but the heaven on earth, it is really touching your deepest fears. It is touching your deepest sense of vulnerability, and it just felt so vulnerable. And this is what we stood up over the past years to hold, that vulnerability, to say, yeah, this is my deepest dream, das ist mein tiefster innerster Traum, und ich fühle mich so unglaublich verletzlich, dafür zu gehen, dafür zu sprechen, das zu zeigen. But I'm still going for it. I still do it. Und auch, wisst ihr, all these steps, showing these pictures here, sharing about our lives, it's just so incredibly intimate. Because the pictures you see are really how we are and what it is. It is not selling an idea of a perfect paradise. It is sharing our dream. And I know that, you know, when this guy takes one single photo of me, it is really the most essential view you can ever have to my being and to my soul and to my essence. Because I just fully trust him 100%. I would give him everything, like everything. Really, so this is the next, you know, there will be so many keys in that, because, and I really wanted to share it with you because, you know, I was not here for a couple of weeks, but I, you know, we're not really, it was time to take time for myself. It was just time to reflect very deeply. It was time to arrive in our new home. It was time to just be with our family, because, you know, the core for me is my family. The core for me is my husband and my children and my inner world and my sanctuary, and also my clients and the education. So really being there and giving all the diamonds there. It was just time to be in silence for quite a while. It was time to live out my line 2 personality, you know, like being inside and really listening and very gently sweeping to that next chapter, next 7-year cycle. So everything here is honest and it's bold and it's true. And because we walked that path in honesty and boldness and trust, we're now here together and we made it possible. Or we surrendered to the possibility and we're now living together. And everything you see is how it really is. When you see these pictures of lightness, it is how it really is. It is like that. It is so perfect. And I think going inside our own hearts and following the dreams there is the most courageous and the best we could ever do for humanity, and we could ever do for anybody else out there. And it is the path of real growth. And looking inside, and also really giving yourself to all of your fun. Yeah, you feel it. It's a new frequency coming in right now. So out of the depth, we really go up like that now in that little story, in that beautiful story. So, you have to be really fierce. Let's be honest. When you want to have heaven on earth, you really have to be fierce, because like the collective of that planet is aligned to many possibilities of hell, actually. Let's be honest. I mean, war, poverty, drama and families, all the ideas about economics, money, and so on are actually hell and not heaven. So if you are here to live and to show heaven on earth and to share it, you have to be so fierce. Because however you walk your path, there will be that frequency of the collective surrounding you. And sometimes, it needs a very, very, very deep tenderness, actually, all the time, like really relaxing more and more and more and more and more. And then it also needs, like, sometimes an absolutely radical alignment, absolutely radical choice, because in all of that ease and surrender, this is a very radical choice. Surrendering to, but I believe into the pearls, into the dream, into the light in my heart. I believe really into abundance. I really believe, I really know in the bottom of my heart that this here is meant to be the best. It's meant to be the best. It's not meant to be less. It's not meant as a second choice. It's really meant as a first choice. Whatever your first choice is, seeing my first choice is only inspiration for choosing your best choice. And I really believe in unity and oneness. I don't believe in, for example, money is bad or because money is existing. The world is how it is. I only believe that money is reflecting what people believe and what they are aligned to. And I really dare to walk my own path needs a really powerful, guts. And it needs the crown, and it needs the root. It needs the faith, and it really needs the deep experience. Feeling it, power is coming in. So for me, everything is about bringing it all together. The water and the fire, the spirit and the earth. So your deep inner masculinity with your deep inner femininity. And this is also what we are mirrors for. We are definitely mirrors for being so sensitive, and on another level, like being clear, as that, like really absolutely aligned and focused. So let's talk about the next level. Let's talk about the next 7-year cycle, and perhaps even talk about the last. So my last 7-year cycle definitely was about finding myself in the world of duality. So moving between good and bad, between highs and lows, between I allow myself and I don't again. Moving, from right to left and from left to right again, and so on. And, getting, I think, really about becoming more flexible, open, and easy with it. So loving it all, finding relaxedness in the highs and in the lows and in between. And therefore strengthening the core, actually, strengthening a very deep level of insight, and also a very serene and honest integrity. So flying and falling, and winning and losing, and all of it, and then finding that actually you win in all of it, you find abundance in all of it, you get experience in all of it, you really master it, you become a master. And enjoying that play, even in the moments where it absolutely didn't feel enjoyable, enjoying it, surrendering to a deeper knowing, and just gathering so much experience, and allowing more. It was the 7 years in which I really started to allow abundance into my life on a very essential level. Yeah. And so there was a shift in that summer, and in being now here together. And it was really the starting point of just going deeper, going deeper in the core now. So I experience that now, and it's not so much about the high and the low, or the good and the bad, the, permission or not permission anymore. It's about going deeper, surrendering more, loving more, relaxing more, just letting myself fall more into the neutral space, fall more into the 0 point. And there are new choices coming with it. And one choice is to charge higher prices. And actually, it's something that has grown over years now, that has really grown over the past 14 years, basically. And also, really, exactly 7 years ago, I did my own first, I got into a mentoring myself, and I had the first online group. So kind of getting more ease and prosperity in business and abundance, sharing more, having more clients started exactly 7 years ago. So, and over all these 7 years, I was really experienced with charging more and charging less, like giving more, trying to give less, would never really work for me, because we both are really, we're full givers. There's no one probably. And really take your time. If you feel you have enough keys for now, come to that story again, come back later, really come back later, and then go into it again, and then get more inside. You feel it. It might be that your field is full for now, and that you reflect on that, and that you then follow and go deeper, continuing. So really sense when it's your time to, leave and then come back, and perhaps leave again and then come back again, and so on, because you're really digesting it. I'm talking to your consciousness, so I'm talking to your cell information, so it will, have an effect. So drink a lot of water, and just give yourself the time and space, to receive it. So we're full givers. I don't know many people who give that much, who are willing to surrender so deeply, so who serve so deeply. Like, we just give so much to each other, to our children, to our clients, to everything we do. We give the full focus, we give the full energy, we give like everything we are and possess. And this is why I had that image as well, and probably you too. Many of us have that of, I want to be that good person who just always gives and never takes, who doesn't need anything. And actually, it was a deep lie that, took took a lot from me over many years. I got sick. My body got sick because I wasn't receiving. I wanted to always give, but not to receive that much as I gave. And so this also is an experience that has really came to an end. I sometimes even, gave or donated whole year trainings, or, open things for donation. And actually, sometimes I was sick, like physically sick for months, like over months. I was, coughing, and I had like severe lung infections and so on, because I wasn't moving according to the laws of balance. And the law of balance is really, when you give so much, you really have to charge a lot for it. You have to charge an appropriate price. So the prices really are different now. You will never probably again have the possibility to come in with the prices you could come in the past years, because the money people bring in is really like the water they bring in. And I have a gift, and this gift is to transmit information into the physical systems of people. And this is actually, everybody always says when they start to work with me, or even later, that it's absolutely stunning that everything I say they feel. Everything I say, they just thought it 1 second ago, or it's just absolutely the perfect and right words for them now. And the knowledge, the information, the consciousness really, really sinks into their physical system. And everybody says that this is really outstandingly different to what they experienced before, to all of the mentors and teachers they have before. And it's not about saying that, there are not other people doing it as greatly as I can do it, or, having their own unique gifts. Everybody has its own gift. And mastery is really about, growing your gift and growing your skill. And so behind every single thing, every single drop I transmit, every single word, every single second, there is the energy of my own vessel. There's my own vessel. There's my physical body, the water in my body, the light in my body, the blood in my body. And the transmission is really infinite. And when people bring in their commitment, their energy, means their money, it's like water in a pot, and every single drop of water I can fill with a drop of fire, with a drop of light, with a drop of divine consciousness. And when there is not enough drops of water, means not enough money in the pot, not enough resource, and the transmission is not completed yet, it's not finished yet, because transmission is endless, infinite, but there comes a point where it's complete for the now. I think I start the next video because it's already long. So when the transmission is not finished yet, and there's really that very, very intense line of we're not done yet, then my system starts to take the drop of water out of my own body, out of my own life. And very fast then my body gets sick, because there's just too much fire and not enough water. Yeah, because the fire is really infinite, like it's vast. But it's not about charging higher prices and higher and higher and higher and higher, without balance again. It's about the balance, and it's about your balance and my balance. So it's not about this price is right or that price is right. It's about the exact balance. And the prices I had were for kind of a while not so balanced anymore with the transmission I give. and everybody who comes in is really so deeply stunned by what they are given and what they receive and what they can receive, and by the level of consciousness, the level of frequency, the level of really high grade, pure, innocent, vast space of abundance, that it is just appropriate to also provide more. And I was never somebody who could, either I give everything or not, either I am focused or not, either I am committed or not. So what I do it really fully. And for Vanya, it's the same. And this is basically why we are so successful, which doesn't mean that it has to be the way for all of us, for everybody, the way of doing things. It's more about the frequency. And then the energy management can be different, it's just very unique. So one point that is new and kind of really grown over years, over many, many, many years, is charging these higher prices to be able to give more, to transmit more, because I always give more, and it's very important for me now and also for the transmission to not move out of balance anymore. So the next, the Jinki and Human Design Master 2, which will include next year a beautiful journey to Sataya, to the dolphins. And it's basically not a journey to the dolphins. It's basically a journey inside of silence and breath. So we will work a lot with the breath, a lot with diving deep, free diving, a lot with holding your breath longer, so you can stay more down and really be with them, be not only with the dolphins, with the manta, with whatever, with you, in the depth, because you will reach a lot of consciousness when you hold your breath longer, and it's just really a super analogy for seeing more, listening more, receiving more, being in higher levels of abundance and higher levels of stillness and peace and tranquility and so on. And when you have a really, stable nervous system, you will just have more, because your energy is just, more calm, more peaceful, more accommodated. So you will have just less resistance in life with everything, and things will be much easier. So it's so there will be that amazing journey. And I cannot include an amazing journey when people just pay like 5K or something like that. I'm really, I'm focused with people 365 days a year, 24/7, like 24 hours a day. I really guide their frequency and I transmit. So this is why this next year, which is even more profound, we will deeply go into the codon rings. And even if you're, new in Gene Keys or Human Design, it's actually about the huge consciousness. It's about the one consciousness, and it's about it. Yeah, the wholeness of life, the wholeness of abundance, prosperity, success, and so on. It's about living heaven on earth, not dreaming of it and, not reaching out for it. It's about embodying it and living it. And so this will run at 20K net, and which is very beautiful is that you can always, it's education. So whatever business you have, you can just run it on your business. So it's never from your private income, because everybody who is an entrepreneur knows that your €1 of your private income is 3 or 4 euros of sales. And so if you paying it off your sales and on your private income, it's something very different. So it will be at 20K. And then we also have, and it's not we have really at the huge bottom line eclipse And the journey of eclipse is the journey of being open and being deeply, deeply aware, honest, surrendered, and becoming a pro actually in consciousness, becoming a pro in living the heaven on earth, not just dreaming of it, but walking the path and embodying it. It's the path of lightness, of ease, and of success in all of the areas of your life, because this is what we embody. It's not about just having an amazing business or just having a perfect relationship or just being happy with yourself or just having an amazing family. It's about having it all. And this is very interesting because many people are, successful in mastering one area or two areas, and then they have that story ongoing of, but it can't be so perfect, back to the beginning. It can't be so good. It's just too good to be true. It's just, and I'm not good enough for that. I don't believe in the unity so deeply. I don't believe in heaven on earth, like really. But our story is different. Our story it is so good that you perhaps cannot really capture that it is so good, but it is so good. And you are here for heaven on earth. And so you're here for fulfillment, for alignment, for absolutely grace in all of the areas of your life. You're here for the money, you're here for the clients, you're here for the family, for the children, for the body, for your success, for your joy. You're here for the mate. You're here for all of it. And this is it. And it doesn't mean that you have to have that idea now of you having it all, but actually everybody who comes to us comes for all, like being honest. I mean, you're aligning to our core, so you're coming for it all because we stand for it all, everything, all of it. And this is what kind of was the source of so much shame, because I'm not good in one thing. I don't want one thing, I want it all. I'm good in everything, in all of it. It's full abundance, and full abundance, it's growing every day. The lotus has an infinite amount of petals, and one is opening and then the next and the next and the next, and it's an ongoing and never ending story of love, yeah, and unity and perfect perfection. And this journey is eclipse, and eclipse is, it will be the biggest transmission I've ever given. And it will start with Eden, and it will end with God consciousness. It contains 7 perfect programs, signature programs, that will really capture and mirror all of the basic areas, all of the basic steps, all of the basic keys of consciousness, like the 7 seals, like the 7 chakras, the 7 colors of the rainbow. It's this grace and virtue and magic of the 7. And at some point, it's not about the 7 at all, I mean, it could, be just one journey, but so it is about, you want it all, you get it all. It's about trust. Majorly, it's about trust. Majorly, it is about surrendering more, becoming more peaceful, more still, more open, more abundant, opening up more, opening your heart more, believing more, and getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the core of ease and simplicity. So it's courageous, and it is bold, and it is very light and easy too. And this is at 30K. If you book Eclipse and it's total, you can also book all the steps for like 10K, and it will contain Breath of Life and Kundalini and Solitaire, the One, Paradise, and God consciousness. And it's basically about surrendering to the beauty of the whole, surrendering to oneness and perfection, which is it, and surrendering to creation and creating and receiving, and just letting it be so simple as it actually is, and living that in your business, living that with money, living that with a mate, living that with your family, with your children, with everything in your life. So it's for people who want it very easy and somehow fast, and who got time. So because this is like the magic key is you're open for ease, and you have the time for it, you know. You do the work without working hard. Yeah, you're committed without being, attached. You're committed, but not attached. Yeah, you surrender without losing alignment. So it is about bringing it all together in a perfect synchronization, and actually just letting that happen, because this is how it is. It is so harmonious and so easy. So it's kind of the next 7-year cycle of, bringing all these pieces we already mastered together and making it more simple and more successful. And I think it really reached you that success doesn't come from, I work harder, I do more, but more from I surrender and I relax and I take the time and I dream my dreams and I start where I am. So this is also where all of it comes together, the treasures of the past, the peace and the now, and also all the possibilities of the future. The one. And you're actually also all of it. You're the one who has all of it now. You're the child, you're the parent, and you're the wise one, the old one. And we will have a lot of time and take a lot of time for all these journeys, because time is really time, commitment, the focus, the energy we put in is really key. And the first key is time, basically. And also in eclipse, we will have a 4 or 5 day retreat. I don't know where and what now. So it's still in the dreams of the stars, where we come together. And it's really getting closer to it is all one. It is all one. It is all one, and it is all good. It is just good. Nothing than that. And we kind of, with moving together, with what's happened now in July, and then also I took all that time for making that fusion. I was just it's a huge embodiment. It's, at some level, I think the biggest manifestation you can achieve at some level here. And with that realization, we really completed our way, our path with duality, our experience with duality, I mean, it has ended for us. And now it's just getting deeper and being deeper in oneness and unity, and just sharing that and really taking you with us, and like giving our hands to all of those who want to see that, who want to see the light, who want to be home, who want to have it easier. And charging more money, for example, is really, it is not because of an idea of more money, or it is really because it just needs more water. It just needs more water. It's when you're a woman and you're becoming pregnant, you just need more minerals, you just need more water, you just need more vitamins, you just need more of it because there is more growing in you. Because they will, drink all of your milk, and you will, there will be taken more from your body. And when I transmit even higher levels of unity and bigger pictures to you, I really need more breath and more fuel and more of everything for it. And more of it makes it easier, you know. And also there, we are really for people. And I believe that actually we are all these people. We are for people who are here to make peace in their lives, in their lifetime. We're here for people who, or probably I put it a little differently. I think we will show up in the lives of people when they have asked for, I'm ready to return home. I'm ready to return to Eden. I'm ready to return to the huge unity. And the huge unity definitely means also that you don't look at money and that you see, oh, there are rich and poor people, there are people who want a lot, and there are people who, want less, or there are people who, give, and there are some who take more, and that you're just playing out your, like, not your, playing out a deep sense of separation in it. We're here and we probably show up in the lives of people when they ask for the big peace, den großen Frieden, for peace in their lifetimes. When they asked for, I want to die one day absolutely fulfilled. And I want that I was fulfilled in life in every second, and that's why I will be fulfilled absolutely beyond that, absolutely beyond that. So this is when we show up in your life, and this is when it's perhaps time to book, perhaps time to journey and to travel with us. Having a lot of time for that, because consciousness is something that grows, and it grows over a lifetime, and perhaps it even grows over many lifetimes. And it's good, we got the time for that, and we also got the resource. So also that story with your mate, that story with money, that story also with, receiving children, with, making beautiful travels, whatever it is the story of, I trust. I trust in the heavens. I really trust in being supported and being mirrored and being matched. I really trust in inside out. I really trust in the goodness of all things. So also we're about to make a lot of changes on our website, and this is perhaps something that is very interesting for you too. Somehow our path, not even somehow, but totally our path with duality ended, and so what we actually gonna do is that all that story of, I suffered a lot and no, I suffered a lot, it's just neutral as it is, but it will leave, because we're just not aligned anymore to it. We learned a lot in our lives so far, and every day we keep on learning. We learned incredibly much, and now it's more time to not share the story anymore, but sharing what we've learned even more. because I think a part of sharing stories is, that we still come to peace with it ourselves. And it's good. It's absolutely fine and it's okay. But me personally and Vanya also, we came to peace with it. I am at peace with it. I am at peace with how it was. I am at peace with all these days of my life where I felt absolutely miserable, where it absolutely did not feel like heaven on earth. And with all these moments where I doubted, and with all these moments where I hated myself, and so on, I'm at peace with it. And it's just not so important anymore. And I think, I believe, I deeply know that it is a stage probably for all of us in our lives and in the growth of our consciousness, in the evolving and the evolution of our consciousness, that we look back and we reflect on the past, and that we feel it, what we didn't feel, and where it really is the time to have a focus there and to share it, like to share our voice, to share how we felt with it when we didn't do that as children. And a lot of us, we didn't do that as children. So, and then comes a time where you have shared it and you have felt it, and it's just good. And you just grown up more, you grow up more. And being more grown up, being less focused on the suffering and on the stories and of, I want to be seen, because there's always that dimension of I wasn't seen and I want to be seen now. And it's very healthy, it's very good when there is that moment of you are seen and you can share it, and you can share it also on social media, and people see you, and they are in resonance with your pain or with your story. But there comes a moment where you just let that go, and where you focus more on the abundance, more on the ease, more on, I learned, and I reflect my now more, or I more reflect my future than my past. And it's just naturally coming. And then it's not so right anymore, to have the phrases that we have now on the website still. So you will find a new website very soon, like new in terms of pictures from here, which is also, it's the most natural pictures I've ever taken for me. Because, I mean, when my husband is making the pictures, it's like, I'm just living my life. And basically, I'm not posing, I don't have that kind of also artificial moment of being with a photographer, having a certain amount of time and then going into it. I'm just with him all the time, and he's just, I'm just naked with him. I'm just who I am with him. I trust him, so he can, be around me, and it doesn't bother me at all. And taking someone in as a photographer, for example, that you don't spend a lot of time with, and he's not around you for a long time but only for a specific time, is always it it is very beautiful. And having your husband around you is just a level of ease that is like very, very high. So there are many shifts and changes, and it's not like changes now, out of the blue. It's growth over years, and we will reflect that, and it will be reflected, and we will show it. And we're this is also why perhaps you will not so much, you will more hear about what we learned. You will more you will more receive that instead of hearing stories, because actually our life is very, it is very easy. And it doesn't mean that, there are not intense days with, caring for 4 children, and that, evolution is infinite. So there is space to grow that is infinitely, infinite possibilities. But it's actually it's light and it's good. And, you know, our life at home and our life here is just, it's perfect. I enjoy every moment. I love the children so deeply. I love to be around them. I'm just so, you know, I'm just so in love with them. I'm so in love with my husband. I'm so in love with my ex-husband, with my first husband. I'm so in love with my parents. I'm so in love with my friends. And it's just, this is just how it is, you know. And I'm so in love with myself. And that is, you know, such a beautiful achievement, because just as you probably, I wasn't in love with myself for the longest part of my life so far. I was just not feeling so good with myself. But, you know, now I am. And, you know, I'm feeling better and better every day. So you will see that shift in frequency, and that actually makes so much more possible also for our clients, you know, that they earn more, that they succeed more, that they achieve more and more lightness, because we're just there. We're just reflecting that. We're just giving more and more and more permission, and enjoying our lives more and more and more and more and more. So next video. So also that is probably something I want to share with you, is that I let go of my life more and more and more, also going into things that scare me. So I look into the also like world movements. It's very interesting because today is my Mayan cosmology birthday, and today is the US election. Huh? It is. It is. It's a US election, and it's a big thing actually, you know, on a world politic and also like basically economic frame. It's a very big thing. So from time to time I look into these things, and you know, there's a lot what can terrify you and like fear you very, very deeply. And you know, what I do more and more and more also in my life is that, you know, I know that things are there, and I looked into a lot of these things, and I really take care of the peace of my sanctuary. So I know it's there, but I don't take in a lot of that. And not in the sense of I'm ignorant, I don't want to know, you know, leave me alone with that. Not in the sense of shutting down, but in the sense of, you know, I know it is there, and I know how open I am, and I know how deeply it affects me. So I will leave it, you know, a little bit further away, still knowing it's there, you know, still having a look at some level on the huge frame, on the global frame, on the universal frame of all of our societies, and what is kind of, you know, the collective story of humanity right now. So I'm pretty aware of it, and sometimes I also talk about this and that in my educations, or you will perhaps hear me talk about it here. And I'm also pretty aware of when it's time for me to, you know, let it go again, and just seeing it in silence. Because, you know, when things affect the feeling in you, the belief in you, and the goodness, it's definitely nothing that is healthy for you. So everything that, you know, not really nourishes deeply the trust and the surrender and the relaxation is probably nothing that will support your growth over the coming years and over a lifetime. So ease and relaxation and peace and trust is really fundamental. So go with that. So, and I even want to talk a little more. I actually had a look if there's still lunch, because I'm actually very hungry. But it was already over. So I eat now. You can see it. These little chocolate croissant that I took from the breakfast, as I usually don't eat in the morning, really. Just a little bit of fruit because I'm just not hungry in the morning. I love to eat in the evening and during the day. And so I have my little pain au chocolat now till dinner. And so I did. I don't really, I know where I ended, and there was a little tear because I had just a beautiful conversation with my mom. Everywhere there's more peace, and the connection goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, everywhere. And everywhere, my heart stays more open, and it's just an invitation for all of the people who are with me, connected with me. And that is perhaps also the biggest achievement of my life so far, is the realization that I can leave my heart open and that I will be safe, and that it's just okay, because I always felt I'm just so extremely receptive. I take in things so deeply. And as a child, I felt so overwhelmed by so much in that world, so much, people who are sad and angry, and people who are in frequencies that are so distorted, you know. It was overwhelming. I really had a very deep sense of I have to protect myself by closing down. I didn't know how I could do it. I tried to do it, and I was very open again, and actually I could never really shut down, but I was just, I got in distance to humans, because in many people's fields there are, deep questions, and also questions in terms of doubts, or at least that was my, experience when I was a child. And so learning deeper and deeper and deeper that I can see everything, and kind of that is aligned to the video before, or to the story you just heard, to that, and it's an important question at some level, what do I do with the world? I see the world, and there are, there are wars, and there are people suffering, and there are so many things going on. So how do I, be with that? How am I with that? And it's really, I learned in my life that I can see it and still be happy. I can feel it and still be who I am, what I am, and what I believe in. And what I also learned very deeply, like many of us, that I cannot jemanden retten. I cannot
rescue someone.
I cannot rescue anybody. And I tried a lot, like probably you too, and many of us. I cannot rescue anybody, I don't walk in their shoes. I just can really be centered in my own frequency. This is what I can do. I can align to my own belief and peace. And also, and it's all same, it's all actually one. Everything I talk about is one. It's not, one topic and another, one key and another. It's just really deeply connected. So I allowed more and more and more to feel safe. And things they start in your spirit. They start at some point mentally. Also, you are only able to make a new experience because it's already possible in your spirit. It's not you make a new experience, and this is why you rewire it, but you first change your mind consciously or unconsciously, because you're just evolving naturally, and then other experience follows. So this is actually the way. So I allowed more and more and more the frequency of being safe in all of it. Being safe in a world that, where you see so many things that really seem like, okay, you cannot feel safe. It's not a safe thing, the wars and economic crisis and illnesses, and there's just, scenarios of worst case scenarios everywhere. So still you can feel at peace. Still you can believe in the goodness of things, of all of it, of life. And opening up for that also brought, you know, Vanya's presence closer to me, because I just feel so connected, so protected in his presence, in his spirit that is really so deeply focused in the light, so deeply focused in the goodness of things. Yeah, his vision is so strong, just born like that. Yeah, a vision of the gold, a vision of the paradise, believing in it and seeing it really everywhere. And it's really how he is. It's really like that, you know. It's not faking it, pretending it. It's really the core of it. And for me, it's a very, basic picture of masculinity and femininity, of the god and the goddess. It's like the god has the vision and the goddess is just answering the vision, you know. She's just the canvas for the vision to occur. So basically also I wanted to talk a little bit about having such a mate in your life and really reminding you of that things are not by incidents. They are just not by incidents. They are by law. It's a law. It's a law that this is in our life, what is there right now. So meeting him 17 and a half years ago was not, a nice move of fate. And, like this idea of, okay, it was just by chance. We just had a lot of chance, It is because I was already one and I was already willing to surrender. And I know that I was talking about it in the very beginning. Now I want to talk about it with a different kind of view on it, a different eye, more an eye of feminine and masculine. For me, being a wife of such an amazing husband, being so supported, being so perfectly loved, like I'm loved in the exact way that I want to be loved, without, having ever thought about it consciously. Many things in my life I didn't really thought about them, worked on the consciousness process. It was just, I surrendered. I was aligned to it and I surrendered to it. So being a wife of such an amazing husband is like being open to be so supported, being open to surrender so deeply, being open to be a wife to a husband. And I say that because I see many people who are scared of that, who are scared of the depth of commitment, because, the commitment between the both of us is just 100%. And the love and the relationship and the realization wouldn't be as it is right now, and could not be as it is right now, and as it actually always was. But this is why we're now living it. If we wouldn't be fully willing to have a husband, to have a wife. I see so many people who don't really want to have a mate like that. And probably they would all say, no, I do want it. It's not true what you say. But looking deeper is, are you really willing to care for that? Because you have to care for a husband, you have to care for a wife, you have to care for children, you have to care for clients, you have to care for your business, for everything you really want to have in your life, and where you really want to have the full fulfillment and success and satisfaction. It means that you care for it. having a husband like that is, who gives me so much. He's there. I can always come to him. He's always connected. He's always seeing me. He is always having an eye on me, always. But it means, that I am also there for him. I'm also open to him. And I see so many women, for example, who are not open for men, who don't trust men. And it's okay. It's not, saying like, do this or do that or this is wrong. It all has a story. I can deeply understand why people don't trust. And I was also not trusting humans for a long time, and I'm still on that way. But something in me always trusted. It trusted men and women. It trusted the connection. It trusted the one, because for me it's all is the one. It trusted the fertility. It trusted the goodness of creation. And so he can be there because I'm willing to trust him. And I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to be a wife of a husband. I'm fully good in openness and surrendering and opening. I am open. I'm so open to receive. And it's so important for men to be received. It's so important for the seed to be received. It's so important for the light to can come in and touch the water. It's so important for a creator, that the creator has the canvas and the colors. What would the creator do without the canvas? What would he do without the instrument? What would he do without, any possibility to bring it to life? So for me, majorly, the feminine is, the bringing it to life, being the canvas, being the colors, being the instrument. And basically for me, the masculine is being the creator, being the artist. And I'm so aligned with a masculine, a man at my side, because I have a very strong own inner masculine. I have a very strong creator, God inside. And Wanja has a very, very strong goddess, like canvas goddess inside. So it's actually mirroring something outside that was inside before. And it was always inside. It's like we're born kind of like that. And not in the way of, you by chance, like, some people are born like that and some not. It's never that. Everything you feel like you're not born for you don't see yourself like that, more like that. You don't see it in yourself yet. It's something you can see in yourself. So, and I even want to talk a little more. I actually had a look if there's still lunch, because I'm actually very hungry. But it was already over. So I eat now. You can see it. These little chocolate croissant that I took from the breakfast, as I usually don't eat in the morning, really. Just a little bit of fruit because I'm just not hungry in the morning. I love to eat in the evening and during the day. And so I have my little pain au chocolat now till dinner. And so I don't really, I know where I ended. And I there was a little teary because I had just a beautiful conversation with my mom. Everywhere there's more peace, and the connection goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Everywhere. And everywhere my heart stays more open, and it's just an invitation for all of the people who are with me, connected with me. And that is perhaps also the biggest achievement of my life so far, is the realization that I can leave my heart open and that I will be safe, and that it's just okay, because I always felt I'm just so extremely receptive. I take in things so deep, so deeply. And as a child, I felt so overwhelmed by so much in that world, so much, people who are sad and angry, and people who are in frequencies that are so distorted, you know. It was overwhelming. I really had a very deep sense of I have to protect myself by closing down. I didn't know how I could do it. I tried to do it, and I was very open again, and yeah, actually I could never really shut down, but I was just, I got in distance to humans, because in many people's fields there are, deep questions, and also questions in terms of doubts, or at least that was my, experience when I was a child. And so learning deeper and deeper and deeper that I can see everything, and kind of that is aligned to the video before, or to the story you just heard, to that, and it's an important question at some level, what do I do with the world? I see the world, and there are, there are wars, and there are people suffering, and there are so many things going on. So how do I, be with that? How am I with that? And it's really, I learned in my life that I can see it and still be happy. I can feel it and still be who I am, what I am, and what I believe in. And what I also learned very deeply, like many of us, that I cannot jemanden retten. I cannot
rescue someone.
I cannot rescue anybody. And I tried a lot, like probably you too, and many of us. I cannot rescue anybody, I don't walk in their shoes. I just can really be centered in my own frequency. This is what I can do. I can align to my own belief and peace. And also, and it's all same, it's all actually one. Everything I talk about is one. It's not, one topic and another, one key and another. It's just really deeply connected. So I allowed more and more and more to feel safe. And things they start in your spirit. They start at some point mentally. Also, you are only able to make a new experience because it's already possible in your spirit. It's not you make a new experience, and this is why you rewire it, but you first change your mind, consciously or unconsciously, because you're just evolving naturally, and then other experience follows. So this is actually the way. So I allowed more and more and more the frequency of being safe in all of it. Being safe in a world that, where you see so many things that really seem like, okay, you cannot feel safe. It's not a safe thing, There are wars and economic crisis and illnesses, and there's just, scenarios of worst case scenarios everywhere. So still, you can feel at peace. Still, you can believe in the goodness of things, of all of it, of life. And opening up for that also brought, Vanya's presence closer to me, because I just feel so connected, so protected in his presence, in his spirit that is really so deeply focused in the light, so deeply focused in the goodness of things. Yeah, his vision is so strong, just born like that. Yeah, a vision of the gold, a vision of the paradise, believing in it and seeing it really everywhere. And it's really how he is. It's really like that, you know. It's not faking it, pretending it. It's really the core of it. And for me, it's a very, basic picture of masculinity and femininity, of the god and the goddess. It's like the god has the vision and the goddess is just answering the vision, you know. She's just the canvas for the vision to occur. So basically, also, I wanted to talk a little bit about having such a mate in your life and really reminding you of that things are not by incidents. They are just not by incidents. They are by law. It's a law. It's a law that this is in our life, what is there right now. So meeting him 17 and a half years ago was not, a nice move of fate. And, like this idea of, okay, it was just by chance. We just had a lot of chance, It is because I was already one and I was already willing to surrender. And I know that I was talking about it in the very beginning. Now I want to talk about it with a different kind of view on it, a different eye, more an eye of feminine and masculine. For me, being a wife of such an amazing husband, being so supported, being so perfectly loved, like I'm loved in the exact way that I want to be loved, without, having ever thought about it consciously. Many things in my life, I didn't really thought about them, worked on the consciousness process. It was just, I surrendered. I was aligned to it and I surrendered to it. So being a wife of such an amazing husband is like being open to be so supported, being open to surrender so deeply, being open to be a wife to a husband. And I say that because I see many people who are scared of that. We're scared of the depth of commitment because, the commitment between the both of us is just 100%. And the love and the relationship and the realization wouldn't be as it is right now and could not be as it is right now and as it actually always was. But this is why we're now living it. If we wouldn't be fully willing to have a husband, to have a wife. I see so many people who don't really want to have a mate like that. And probably they would all say, no, I do want it. It's not true what you say. But looking deeper is, are you really willing to care for that? Because you have to care for a husband, you have to care for a wife, you have to care for children, you have to care for clients, you have to care for your business, for everything you really want to have in your life, and where you really want to have the full fulfillment and success and satisfaction. It means that you care for it. Having a husband like that is, who gives me so much. He's there. I can always come to him. He's always connected. He's always seeing me. He is always having an eye on me, always. But it means, that I am also there for him. I'm also open to him. And I see so many women, for example, who are not open for men, who don't trust men. And it's okay. It's not, saying like, do this or do that or this is wrong. It all has a story. I can deeply understand why people don't trust. And I was also not trusting humans for a long time, and I'm still on that way. But something in me always trusted. It trusted men and women, it trusted the connection, it trusted the one, because for me it's all is the one. It trusted the fertility, it trusted the goodness of creation. And so he can be there because I'm willing to trust him. And I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to be a wife of a husband. I'm fully good in openness and surrendering and opening. I am open. I'm so open to receive. And it's so important for men to be received. It's so important for the seed to be received. It's so important for the light to can come in and touch the water. It's so important for a creator that the creator has the canvas and the colors. What would the creator do without the canvas? What would he do without the instrument? What would he do without, any possibility to bring it to life? So for me, majorly, the feminine is, the bringing it to life, being the canvas, being the colors, being the instrument. And basically for me, the masculine is being the creator, being the artist. And I'm so aligned with a masculine, a man at my side because I have a very strong own inner masculine. I have a very strong creator, God inside. And Vanya has a very, very strong goddess, like canvas goddess inside. So it's actually mirroring something outside that was inside before. And it was always inside. It's like we're born kind of like that. And not in the way of, you by chance, like, some people are born like that and some not. It's never that. Everything you feel like you're not born for you don't see yourself like that, more like that. You don't see it in yourself yet. It's something you can see in yourself. Okay, again, it was 14 minutes. I don't know, it's already probably more than an hour that I spoke here. But it's, it's been many, many weeks I've been not really present here. And so there's a lot, it's a lot to share. And it's a lot that you can just be gifted with it. And if you want, just receive the gifts. So I never saw myself, for example, as an entrepreneur. Actually, I'm a very good entrepreneur. Also this idea of being an entrepreneur or selling something. How many ideas, how many plays, how many wishes did you sell your parents? How many good behaviors, how many nice successes did you sell your teachers? We sell all the time. Like really, everything is about selling. And selling is basically what we enhance and what we focus on and what we make stronger and more of it, where we give what we accumulate, where we give more energy. Because, as a child, you're very decisive often about, what you want. And even though you perhaps are a shy child, we were very, very shy, we're these so clear and focused, but we felt ashamed a lot about it. Even as a child, I felt so ashamed about, wanting so much, about, being here so much, actually, about being so passionate, about, always looking for more inspiration, basically, for more aliveness, We're so deeply connected with our life force, with our Kundalini, very alive. And Kundalini is not, about making love. Kundalini is about being really aligned and attuned and being inspired and being on fire and being living and breathing, being really here, being creative. And so actually I was always an amazing entrepreneur, but I had a mother. I still have her, but she's transformed a lot. So I had a mother at that time who is not like the mother I have now. I had a different mother at the time. And my mother was working a lot, and she was not open to be supported at all. And she had that story about that all men on the planet. She has good reasons for that, very good reasons. All men on the planet are, like assholes. But, she has experienced abuse and so on. And so it's very natural that she had these beliefs because she didn't receive protection from men. So, this is also where you see everything is right in a certain context, in a certain perspective. It is right in the sense of it makes sense in the sense of that frame, in the sense of that construct. So it's always, seeing the construct also of people, seeing in what frame they are moving, seeing your own frame. And so at the time she was working a lot. She never had time for me. I felt very alone and lost as a child. So what I said is, I never want to be an entrepreneur, Okay, I want to heal people. Not really want to heal people. I just want to share. I want to share consciousness, but I never want to be an entrepreneur. And, still, even having a 6-figure business, I told myself that I was not an entrepreneur. So coming back to the story of I'm not born like that, I'm not born with it. Im Deutschen gibt es einen Ausdruck, es ist mir nicht in die Wiege gelegt. Actually everything is there. What doesn't mean that you see it. And because you were raised in a certain frame, you decided to perhaps have not a perfect mate, or have not a perfect business, or have not children, because there are the certain informations and field of the family, of the culture, of the society, and so on. And so this is what shifts. The frame shifts, and you just release these information. And so coming back to the essence of that is, if you want to have that perfect mate, if you want to have that perfect money, if you want to have that perfect friends, if you want to have all of that, if you want to have that business, be willing to be open to it. Because if you're not open to it, shall he knock on my door but the door is closed? He will have to leave if the door is closed. It's just by law. You cannot stand in front of a closed door and knock there forever. Because if we are givers, and we all are givers, we have to be receivers as well. Because if not, we're really lacking everything. And if we're lacking everything, we just get sick. Why are people sick? It's just, because they didn't hold up the balance. And it's at some point always this deep inner balance of feminine, masculine, fire, water, fire, water, fire, water. Being relaxed and then focused, being clear and being soft and tender. It's always that male, female. This is why, Eclipse has in the end these two, kind of giants of programs, Paradise and God consciousness. Like the core of female and masculine. So female and male core creational consciousness, because this is the essence. It is the essence. It's mama, papa, and their creation. So I'm sweating, and I probably have more to say, more to many things. And for now, I think it's good and done, because I will have probably. So I don't want to, I don't want to say something to the universe like, I will have some hours here work to do, but probably it will take a while to load up these stories and videos. what I want to say in the end is also for everybody who has, you know, got in contact with that story, a part of also my life in the past year, actually, that my youngest son Aaron, that he has chosen, we all together, that he has a special condition with his hypophysis, whatever, however it is right and correctly pronounced in English, that actually his brain is not producing enough growth hormone. Actually, it's there are kind of a certain tissue missing, and so he was not growing. And from like 3, 4 on, it was really, you know, really getting obvious that he's growing very, 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 very slowly compared to all of the other children, and that something is not going right. And really in the term where you could say right at some point, you know, I mean, there are people who is very insane, you know. There are people who are at some level so few aware, so like wenig aware, that they write things like, you know, I mean, you could not do any kind of, you know, remedy, any kind of medicine. You can, you know, stay without growth hormone, but what they would mean for him is that he will be 1 meter 30 or 1 meter 40. I don't know, you know, I cannot translate it in feet now because I'm not thinking in feet yet. And imagine what that would mean for his life. I mean, you cannot say, I cannot, you know, I mean, there's, I don't know, to clean it a little bit. I would never say that it's, you know, better or worse, but it just doesn't feel right for me to not give him the opportunity to grow properly, to grow to his actually biological meant height. And so we had for 1 year our journey of traveling to the doctors and checking the heart and checking the brain and also checking things like that it's no cancer. I knew that it was not, but still it was a huge journey of opening up and integrating many, many, many insights and experiences and fears and so on. And also connections to people, more compassion with so many really challenging experiences, you know. I mean, when your child has any kind of sickness, disorder, it's probably kind of the worst, besides, you know, having a child that dies or having a partner who dies. Having more insight and people who are challenged on that level, because you mean, you know, feeling not good yourself is one thing, but this is another thing. And I really grew a lot of deep respect for these journeys of people. And also I made deep peace with my family, who are all doctors and all into like this, also the shadows of, let's say, judgment or a very narrow vision of the world. And we started after several months of, you know, waiting and then going back to the next appointment and to the next checkings and yeah, really walking all that path with Aaron, he is so aligned. I don't know many person in life who are so aligned as this 5-year-old. And so coming to a point, we started the hormone therapy. You know, in Germany you have really strong like lines when it is allowed to do it or not. You know, in Australia or America you just get growth hormones way more easily. and you can think about it whatever you want, but in Germany you have like very, very strong restrictions. And so we did all these tests, and they all show that his brain is just not producing it, and so you have to substitute it, even though some people might say you don't have to. But it was very interesting because the only people who said something like that were people without children. It's very interesting because it's always people without partners or without children or without money who tell you something about if your decision with your partner or your children or your money is right. It's always basically people who are not experienced at all in that. And so it's just I'm a very kind person, so I stay kind with it, and I am kind with it. But sometimes I am really surprised by what people really dare to write, and then think that it's kind of that they have on any level the real right to do that, because if you have no children and you talk to a mother with a child that has any kind of special issue, you really have fucking no idea of what it feels like. And also, when you have a business and when I support clients since many, many, many years. I do year educations and trainings since many years. Since many years, I'm with people really 24 hours a day, being in tune with their frequency, with their fields, with their experience. And then people who have kind of no idea of it, or who just started, or who, never did something longer than to work 3 months with someone or something. They talk to you and they, have an idea of your price or your way of doing is right. You're really there kind of like, I'm probably more grown up and more mature, and it's not a sense of being arrogant, but it's, just being more experienced. I have born 3 children. I live in patchwork since a long time. Every experience in your life will make you grow and mature. And also from that point, I can see, that the awareness of someone else is just different, and it's perfect. And, I can always take thoughts of people as kind of a platform for refreshment. It's not that I don't ask me these questions, It's not that I don't reflect on my choices. It's not that I look at someone's comment and I don't think about it. I think about every single comment that comes, really about every single comment. And I really ask myself the question, is there a truth? What can I take from that? So again, it's just so fucking long, incredibly long. So I take everything, actually, what people say, every single word, I take it deeply inside and I think about it. And I reflect on it. And coming back to what I actually wanted to say is we started with the substitution, growth hormone substitution. And also that was a part of, taking time in the past weeks in silence, and for me and for us in private, for me and my husband, for me and my family in private, because, it was also beyond all of the ease and flexibility I got in my system already a hard time. And before there was this, I separated from the father of my children in November 2022. So it's 2 years now. So we went through divorce. We went through the whole process of stabilizing a new field, stabilizing the children in a new situation, bringing peace to it. And then there was this topic opened with, okay, he's not growing. Our little one is not growing. He's just not growing. And not only that he's not growing, the more important fact was that he didn't have power and energy. He was moving up the hill and he was exhausted. And this is, growth hormone is not just, making you grow. It's has a deep effect on your whole energy system. So actually, people who have a lack in growth hormone are always under sugared, for example. Their muscles are not building up. So you see a child and you see that something is just not as it should be. And then there are, all these possibilities showing up as something's wrong with the heart, which is probably kind of worst case, because if something's wrong with the heart, you have probably a million of surgery ahead. Or there might be something like cancer. There might be something like that. And you have to hold yourself, and you have to hold the field, and you have to basically hold everything. And then, looking back, it's really a masterpiece of going through divorce, going through separation, going through that. In the meantime, growing the business. In the meantime, growing the partnership. In the meantime, growing all of it in the same time. So, and now we started, and from day one, he was just in his power, energized, having the energy to live his beautiful life. And he is an amazing manifester. He is so aligned. He's, such a gift to this planet. And now, in the first 3 months, he made like 5 centimeters, which is just amazing. And it's not basically even that. It's really basically you see the child and you see that he is well, that he's feeling good, which is just a dream, And it was also really taking space for celebrating that. Celebrating all of it. And celebrating probably foremost trusting more every single second of my life, trusting more. So let's see how many slides a highlight can contain. I don't know yet, because actually I decided to do it as a story. But I mean, perhaps, I don't know if my beautiful Wanja here at my side can, also finally put it all together in one big video so that we can load it up on YouTube, because it would be so nice to have it as an entire video and to have it in the highlights. But I really didn't see myself making a 1.5 hour video and then cutting it into minutes. It's like, it's for people who want to work, and actually I don't want to work. To be honest, not working is actually just doing, these stories. It's like, it's intense. So yeah, but to make it reachable for many of you, and feel very invited to share it, and to invite people to watch it. And there's, another point again, giving myself the permission to tune into English more, to speak in English, to just share it in English. Even as a child, I just played that I was speaking English all day long. So it was already there, and I love it so much. I love the frequency of language, and I also love the frequency of we're all one, because right now it is the language that is the most spoken, or the common language in our world. So I love that cosmopolitan, ever connected, we're one worldwide web of consciousness, of people, of inspiration vibe. And this is why I love it so much. And I love my mother tongue. at some level more than anything else on the planet. I just love it so deeply. I love German so deeply. And I knew that the point would come where I shift into English. And it is really, really, it's so funny and it's so aligned that is actually in the moment of time where I leave really any kind of frequency of heaviness that I skip to English. So it will come more and more in the calls, also in the education. So be ready to, if you're only an English speaker, very fine. If you're German speaker, very fine too. So probably it will be for a long time in German and in English. Many people who work with me, they already know that I actually skip between languages, sometimes in the middle of a sentence. And it's also part, of that being very fluid with frequency, like a playing dolphin in the water. You're just, playing with frequencies, because every language has words that really don't only exist in that language. That only, it's frequency that only exists in that language. And so this is very interesting to take kind of the gold nuggets from all of it. I mean, basically here now from 2 languages and not more. And probably I won't start speak French. I don't see myself doing that. I speak French, but I don't see myself doing it here in the calls. At work, kind of. And work is like my life. But it's like that now. So you can also, if you've been with me for a long time, for a while, for many years, you will, tune into that more and more and more. And you will also be given the gifts of that, the treasures of that other language. And also that, more interconnected frequency. Because, I mean, I'm born in Berlin for a couple of weeks after the wall fell, 4 weeks, basically. And I'm really a child to that union and to that ever connected, all connecting consciousness and frequencies. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it now. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the next 7-year cycle. I'm ready for all of these beautiful journeys and experiences and people. I'm ready for very bold, very huge, very fierce and courageous transmissions of lightness and ease and perfection that are just ahead. And I'm ready to receive you in Eclipse. And also, if you only want to book Eden, that's possible too. The beginning is Eden. The beginning is the paradise. The beginning is the heaven on earth. The beginning is prosperity, the creator and the canvas. And that consciousness of fertility and abundance and goodness. This is also the core of every business, the core of money, and the core also of whatever kind of prosperity. And I love, traveling with people for a long time. And, people do it differently. Some really stay all the time. Some leave and then they come back, they digest and then they come back. So it's very unique also how people do it. So I'm ready just for the next beautiful, amazing creations. And you can text us, write us, get in contact. So in a couple of days you will find all of that basically at the base, on the website. So for now you can check in with us directly. You have the 30K net for Eclipse. You have the 20K net for the Gene Key and Human Design Master. You have a live retreat in both of the journeys, which is very, very beautiful and very, very, very good. And then you have the Money and Love of Humanity Masterclass, where you can check in, which will be on the 22nd of November. It's a Friday. And then, you have always one-on-one possibilities with Wanja. Wanja, they always say here.
Wanja.
Wanja.
Mr. Wanja.
It's so cute. Sophie? Sophie and Wanja?
Hey, Sophie.
Yeah, I think in the beginning he even said Sophie, but then he was like, oh, it's Sophie. I mean, Sophie is not that difficult, but it's quite cosmopolitan, but still. And also for me, it's opening up that I'm quite deep into consciousness, so there's space for people who really want and are ready for a very deep next level one-on-one, education and transmitting and basically being a consciousness teacher themselves. So this is what I am. This is who we are. Mwah! And in the middle of that, I had this Zahnspange and my tooth coming out and being replaced. So it's been very rich years. Very rich. With a lots of experiences and travels and a lots of, kind of good and bad. And yeah. What did I train? I trained all of it is love. It's all good. I take it all. And I choose. I align to what I want. I stand up. I higher my standards. I become more kind with myself and with others. We're on our way and already, full achievement here and more evolution ahead. And the big why is like really I want to see so many let's better put it like that. It's not I want to see, it's I just love happy people. I love people who are just, happy, fulfilled all over. And I would say like even at night and even in their dreams, not that kind of, I'm happy, but there are things that are not fulfilled actually. And in the middle of the night, in a moment with myself, I really feel, okay, it's not fulfilled. Not everything is fulfilled. I love, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're really feeling like, yes, I got it all. I celebrate it all. I took it all. And it's just perfect. And more is ahead. And when the kindness and the peace and the openness is growing every day. So see you in our seas of love.